Hey guys, so I just want to make a video today about the passing of Chester Bennington. Chester was the main vocalist in the very popular band called Linkin Park. They were a huge part of my upbringing. They came at a very important time for me in my life. And back then, of course, in my late teens, even early 20s, back then it's not like most teenagers, you don't have religion, you don't have these other things. You kind of cling on to other things to get your motivation and inspiration from. So for me, music was a huge inspiration growing up. Now, you've probably seen some of my videos where I talk about the intense physical bullying that I went through for many years growing up in high school. There was bullying, gambling addiction. I had many issues going on. But Linkin Park came at a time when I was in high school. So in total, for about 6 years, I was intensely bullied, and a lot of it was physical, and a lot of it was very degrading and very harsh. So this was a time where I was still learning, about myself. I was still learning about how to defend myself, and it took me over 6 years, 7 years to kind of learn how to defend myself. But in the meanwhile, one of the things that was helping me was Linkin Park as a band. I used to have the album Hybrid Theory, and I used to put that CD in my car, and when I'll drive at night, I'll just pump that music up. The angst and the rage that came out of Chester's voice was how I was feeling inside. But I couldn't express that. I didn't know how to express that against my bullies and against my tormentors. So it's almost like Chester became my voice, and I used to listen to a lot of the Linkin Park songs, particularly from that album, and I would just, it would be a way for me to unload. It would be a way for me to unleash. And that's why Chester Bennington for me was very important. He was a very important person in my life. That's why a lot of people are saying, why are you upset? He's just a celebrity. He killed himself, which is true. And I don't condone any of that stuff, of course. But for me, the reason I was very upset about his death was because he was almost like an agent to my recovery during my years of bullying. I remember many moments where I would roll down my car windows and just scream with Chester, shut up when I'm talking to you. All of these lines, I remember that these were feelings that I had, and I just wanted to scream at the world because that is what I was going through. I was going through a lot of torment in high school and bullying, and I couldn't figure my way out of it. A lot of people out there, when you look at the feedback about Chester's death, they talk about how much they helped, Linkin Park and Chester, how much they helped them throughout the very difficult times in their teenage years. So a lot of people were in the same boat as me, and it gives me a lot of solace that they kind of looked up to Chester in the same way that I did. That's why for me, I'm just so sad about the passing of Chester Bennington, because he didn't realize the power that he had, and he didn't realize how influential he was towards a lot of people from my generation that grew up with his music, and how many people he helped, that were struggling, that needed that voice, that needed that motivation. And that's why, all I could say is I'm gonna miss Chester Bennington deeply. It's almost like I've lost a high school friend, a friend that understood me, a friend that got me. Even though he wasn't physically there, he understood me through his lyrics. He expressed himself through me. And that's why for me, his death is meaningful. It's not just another celebrity that has died. It is somebody that helped me through my journey of a very difficult period. And a lot of their songs was basically me, what I wanted to say, what I wished I could say, but I was too weak. And that's the thing with Linkin Park. That's the thing with Chester. even though he passed away due to, you know, not overcoming his demons and not overcoming his problems. Chester for me is still a hero for helping me during my hard time, and his music and his voice, and for that I'm forever grateful. And he has no idea the influence that he had on so many people, particularly people like me that went through it quite tough in high school or primary school. The people that went through a lot of emotional abuse and physical abuse and mental abuse. And look, at the end of the day, I'm not saying that Chester Bennington changed me or saved me. I did that to myself. I give myself that power. I did that. But at the end of the day, he was my agent and he assisted me. And he was that network that I could connect with during that period. As I said, back then, I didn't have things like religion or God or things like that to kind of something else to hold on to. You know, I had Linkin Park. His passing wasn't in vain. That's all I could say. And a lot of people are saying he was a coward. I'm not going to get into all of that because, of course, I'm thinking about his family and his friends and how they're feeling and what they're thinking at the moment. Even though his music's ragey sometimes and there's a lot of screaming and that, all of that stuff was actually therapeutic for me during a very difficult time of my life. All of that was actually what calmed me down. And that was the power of Chester, is that he was capable of calming you down by screaming at you. It was just very unique. Rest in peace, Chester. I don't know where you are now or what's happening with you. I could only hope that you're in good hands and that you've found that peace that you've wanted, and you fought a very long battle with these demons, and you've left behind beautiful family, friends, and a huge support network. Even though their music to some might be questionable, it's not outstanding to some. It was the meaning behind the music. It was the lyrics. It was what Chester was saying, how he was expressing himself, and how those words could connect to so many people that were in the same boat as me. And I think that's what the power of it is. So, Linkin Park, Chester Bennington, thank you so much. And rest in peace.